I discovered that we are most definitely in bear country. When we were riding up here, I had a black bear actually run in front of my front wheel. That's a big fucking gun. That's a big fucking gun.
Yeah, dude,
I don't think...
That's a bolt gun.
No, it's just a gun.
In the heart of the Pacific Northwest, there is a route that spans over 1,300 miles, primarily off-road, through mountains and across deserts. In the late summer of 2024, two friends and I took on the challenge of exploring it. We gave ourselves 17 days to ride north to south down the Washington and Oregon State backcountry discovery routes. Our goal was to finish the entire journey while completely unsupported by anyone but ourselves and camp as much of the way as possible. With forest fires tearing across the Pacific Northwest, we'll have to deal with poor air quality and multiple reroutes. Temperamental weather patterns also pose a significant risk as we deal with sub-freezing temperatures and torrential storms.
Try and flip the mud out of your tires. Yeah, just about. The rain's coming at us from the side, so I gotta imagine we're getting somewhat close to the top.
Over the course of this series and with the cameras that I'm bringing with me, I'll document the climbing of mountains, the traversing of desert valleys, battling the elements, and completing this journey. Since we had set up camp in the dark the night before, the morning of day 10 was a little bit disorienting. In other words, first light that morning was really our initial chance to see where exactly we had ended up. We had pitched our tents next to a river at the base of an extremely dense forest in hopes that we could use the tree cover to block out the rain. And to be honest with you, I think this was a huge stroke of luck, because if we didn't find this place to camp a lot lower on the mountain, I'd imagine our tents probably would have been flooded before we could get our rain flies on top of them. Most of our stuff was soaking wet, but at least we were able to keep the inside of our tent dry enough to get some sleep. For me, breakfast that morning wasn't anything fancy. I made some coffee and ate all the leftover huckleberries that we had found and picked the day before. I also noticed that the forest floor was crawling with all kinds of frogs and giant slugs and really just the things that you'd expect to see in a jungle. But the most interesting thing of them all was something that I initially thought was some kind of salamander, and I later on learned that it was a poisonous newt. Thankfully I was fine, but note to self, don't pick those things up.
Alright, good morning guys. We're getting back on the road, finally. It was a super late morning, and as you can see, it is just so wet out here. Like literally, we're in some kind of rainforest. It is pretty nuts. So it rained pretty heavy on us last night when we were trying to find our way into camp, and rained pretty much most of the day yesterday. So all of us this morning were packing up wet tents, wet clothes. My socks are soaking wet, my gloves are soaking wet, the inside of my helmet's wet. Feels like just about everything is wet out here, which I can handle it up to a certain point. I'm just kind of hopeful that maybe we'll beat the rain today and we won't have any more. You know, I could probably handle a couple days of rain before I start to lose it. And I do worry a little bit about my socks. You know, as I mentioned, I lost my socks and underwear days, actually at this point, like a week back. And, this is the only pair I got in here, so I got to try and keep them as dry as I can. Because wet socks over long periods of time can be really bad for your feet. Whoa, look at the huge grouse. That's a big dusky grouse.
Oh yeah.
Those are huge.
Everywhere.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them, and one just flushed up into the tree. That's cool. All right, guys, we're gonna chase Carter around for a bit. He's got me in terms of top speed, but I think I got him in the corners. Staying on the edge of the whoops because I can't do the whoops. Whoa, almost lost it there. Oh, these are huge whoops. Whoa, freaking huge whoops. I can't do that. That would kill me. That would blow out my rear shock. Oh no, is that street up ahead? I kind of hope not. Man, I was having a blast.
Oh my God!
So much fun.
Oh, there's air in my forks now.
You're gonna have to bleed those.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh my goodness, all that gear going wah, 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 wah.
The rear has just been holding up so well.
Oh, I can't believe. It's so fun to watch you. I should have a follow camera. Because there were moves that I was coming down into the seat to bang a corner, and you would just grab a handful of throttle and bang off a rock.
Yeah.
As it got further into the afternoon, we started pulling away from the Cascade Mountains and got closer to Oregon's central high desert. With that came silty volcanic soils that would end up being a lot more challenging to ride in than I expected. To kick things up a notch, we decided to take a detour up a nearby mountain. Except to do this, we'd have to trade volcanic silt for riding on loose volcanic rocks. With adventure riding tires, it was a little bit of a sketchy ride and we had a couple crashes on the way up to the top, but the view was well worth it.
I don't know how well you guys can see it, but there's a mountain way across the valley that is so dramatic looking. It looks like the Matterhorn. You can barely see the top of it sticking out of the clouds. The wind has picked up so much. So glad I'm wearing that windbreaker right now, because it's getting cold. But I guess one good thing is I've been hanging my wet clothes off the back of my bike. So hopefully those are getting dry right now. Feels a lot drier here. This might be like the beginning of the transition into the high desert part of Oregon. Not sure. We'll see though. Welcome to Sisters, Oregon, you guys. I've never been here. Pretty cool town though. I'm gonna go get some food and I'll catch you guys later. Alright you guys, we just dipped out of Sisters, Oregon, got a fresh tank of gas in the old girl, and we're back on the road. I think I can pretty confidently say too that we've kind of gotten away from the rainforest side of Oregon and into the high desert side of things. No, we missed the trail. So we're headed out to camp right now. Not exactly sure where camp is going to be. Is this the trail? Yeah, it is. Yeah, not exactly sure where camp's going to be quite yet, but we're going to go find it. So it seems like it's going to be a bit of a cold night tonight, but I want to get ahead on some work on the bike. So we're going to see how much I can get done with the battery that's left on this headlamp. I've been noticing last couple days, bikes had a bit of a hard time starting. I thought I was losing power today. Especially in this last couple miles, I thought I was losing power. So let's start by checking the oil. I have a feeling it's probably the air filter. Yeah, oil's definitely looking like there's enough. Whew. Yeah, she needs to change though.
We can just lift up one panel.
Yeah, lift up one of the panniers, and then I should probably be able to get at the air filter just fine. I bet you it's gonna be dustier than hell. But like when I was coming up the hill today, I thought I was noticing poor acceleration speed. Look at that.
That's horrible, Jack.
That is bad. That explains a lot, doesn't it?
Man, that is the finest of silt. Oh.
Wow, that explains a lot.
How's the inside? Hey!
It did its job. This would explain why it's been so hard to start my bike in the mornings. The acceleration speed's been pretty bad lately. I mean, look at that. I don't really have a good method to clean it though, that's the thing.
Let's do it.
We're doing a Baja style fix right now. It's better than it was.
Absolutely. The surface is much cleaner.
Yeah, I just need to make sure it seals around the rim. That's the biggest thing. Like if there's one thing that somebody could f up when they're doing the air filter is not putting enough oil around that.
Pretty funny, that doesn't look so bad.
No. And just for everybody in the comment section, no oil has dripped on the ground. So another fun fact that you guys might want to hear is we're most definitely camping in bear country right now. And I'll tell you why I say that after I get this motor to start. All right. Money. So much easier. Last time I tried to do that, it was like
I think we found the culprit.
Yeah, I think we found the culprit. But anyways, I discovered that we are most definitely in bear country, and somebody's gonna call me out on the internet because I don't have the footage to back it up, sadly. But when we were riding up here, I had a black bear actually run in front of my front wheel, you know, like directly in front of me, just kind of going in a straight line for about 3 seconds before darting off into the woods. It wasn't a very huge bear, but it was a bear. It's the first bear I've seen in a while. All right, trail repair is done. Oh, not too dirty. No worse than my pants.
Cold beer on a cold night.
That is a bold move.
Yeah, there's one right here. Jack's not gonna drink it.
No, I'm not drinking cold beer. It's like gonna be in the 30s tonight. I am good. I'm still sick, man. So if you guys remember from probably the last video or maybe the video before that, cough drop tea is my newest genius invention where I basically boil cough drops in water and drink it like tea. You know, and I got hand warmers warming up my sleeping bag right now. I got 4 of them in there.
Damn.
Yeah, I put 2 in the feet and then a couple towards the like torso side of things. That didn't even sound like a gunshot. That was like tannerite or something.
That's a big fucking gun.
No, that's a gunshot. You're right.
That's a big fucking gun.
Yeah, dude,
I don't think.
That's a bolt gun.
At the end of the day, 22 mag is a fucking badass round. If it comes
That's
to-
true.
You know,
I
if
don't
you
like
get
that.
hit with a 22 mag, you know what it's gonna feel like? It's gonna feel like you got shot.
No, it's just a guy enjoying the off-road.
Oh, he probably was shooting. It's a good chance.
That was a military vehicle. Sounded like a big rifle.
I'm glad I'm camped a little bit away from the XR.
You're glad you're camped from... Why are you glad you camped away from the XR?
Because that bear that you almost ran down is gonna come get revenge tonight.
Ah, jeez. Actually, I'm kind of curious now. When's the last time each of you saw a bear?
2-3 years ago, halfway to Yellow Pine.
Huh. That's a good spot. What about you?
Probably quite recently.
Yeah.
I just can't remember because I see so many of them that I just don't.
Yeah, Montana guy. You see a bunch. Yeah. Yeah.
Shoot. I know I've seen one within a month.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of bear in Montana.
I can pretty confidently say that this night takes a position on my short list of top 3 coldest nights ever spent sleeping outside. Even despite that I had picked up thermal socks in the town before, or that I had stuffed hand warmers in my sleeping bag, or that I'd worn so many layers going to bed, it was just bitter cold the whole night. It was so cold that even part of my water storage froze over. There was so much ice on the ground and on everything else that when I opened up my tent this morning, I actually initially thought it had snowed on us. Needless to say, we were all moving pretty slow this morning, and none of us were eager to leave camp until things had warmed up at least a little bit. Me personally, I probably had 3 pots of coffee just to wake up because I just did not sleep well at all. I think it was the combination of the cold and the uneasiness of having somebody shooting close to camp during the night that made it just too tough to get any real sleep. On a more positive note, probably sometime around that 3rd pot of coffee, the sun had come out enough to where the frost was melting and our gear was starting to dry out. Right around that time though, I realized that my GoPro batteries had all but died in the cold overnight. So I decided to use the cold temps to my advantage and try and use my bike as a generator to charge those up.
Alright, we're gonna do like the coldest cold start this XR has done so far on the trip, and it was kind of struggling to start the last few days, and we kind of figured out it was the air filter last night. Kind of hopeful that it'll start up easy, because I don't know how many times I can turn the motor over with this battery. Let's see. Hopefully I can get this running so I can use it as a little generator to charge my gear. They're choked. Battery a couple times already, so I know I've put this battery through the ringer. So this is good. This is really good. Keep it running. Yeah, hopefully I can, because it's so cold, I can just use the motor as a generator and just let it idle and hopefully charge some of my GoPro batteries and drone batteries, because I woke up this morning and all the cold and the frost basically killed most of my batteries, except for the cinema rig camera. That one I still got batteries for.
So we're probably somewhere around here.
Okay, so we're in Deschutes right now. Our next stop is Sun River, I'm guessing in probably less than 50 miles, because if we're over here.
So there's Sun River. So we've got about 50 miles to Sun River.
Okay.
Over a couple of hills.
Yep.
Well, look at that, it's an Aria on the BDR map.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It's almost like it's the best bike ever.
Due to the slow morning, we packed up and left camp pretty late. We also were greeted by an old friend, which was the smoke haze that we hadn't seen since Washington. Just south of us, there were a series of forest and brush fires, some contained and some burning uncontrolled, and we would have to find a way around them. The further south we got, the thicker the smoke was getting in the air, and eventually we would hit our first reroute. Of course, this sent us highway hopping for the next several hours until we eventually reconnected with dirt and could finally stop and take a look at the map before realizing that we were close to getting back on the BDR route. Thankfully, the added highway miles let us keep a good pace, and so we were able to get to our goal of reaching the Cascade Mountains by dark.
Wait a minute. We might be on the good side of things. Go around that way, that's easier. We're on the wrong side.
We're on the back side.
Yeah, but there was no sign where we came from. That's weird. That's so weird. They say it's closed for fire activity, but like we had no sign on our end when we got in there.
Interesting.
Right?
Well,
that's weird.
that's really unusual.
Right?
Alright, so
We're pretty close. The lake should be right ahead. Yeah, so I gotta say, I'm really not making it up to cover my tracks for being in a place I shouldn't be. There was no sort of closure of any kind when we got on that road, and apparently we were on the wrong side of the fence, according to that sign at least. But yeah, I have no idea what happened there. I know there's all kind of, you know, fire activity and changes happening all the time, so maybe the departments didn't, I don't know, link up. Maybe somebody missed a memo. I have no idea. Didn't look like there was any fire activity though to me. Oh wow. So I guess that would be Paulina Lake. You can kind of see it through the trees. Alright, so apparently we are in some kind of wildlife reserve, which means dispersed camping is off the table. But I just bought us a spot here at this campground, and so I think it's going to be some pretty easygoing camping tonight. Yeah, I'll take that. Not half bad, guys. Not half bad.
I found my camp spot.
That was smooth. Are you okay? Vic fell. What a cool spot.
Next on the Oregon BDR.
We're definitely getting deeper into that, you know, sort of high desert country. Oh, Carter down. That's the big fire that we finally made our way south of. So hopefully, since we're past that massive fire, we should be fine. First thing on my mind when I'm looking around out here is water. All right, so conditions are starting to look kind of rough for us. I got you, buddy. Let's get you up. Blip the throttle, flip the mud out. There you go, good. Man, we haven't even seen one soul out here. Seems like it's just us, the sagebrush, and the coyotes probably. We discovered that since the power's been out for the whole town, the electric pumps for the gasoline don't work. Probably doesn't look as challenging as it feels, but this is a hell of a climb on a bike that's fully loaded down, especially a single cylinder thumper like this. Looks like it's gonna be nightfall here in probably about 15 minutes. I'm gonna do 2 bottles and save the last one. Man, I ain't got a lick of traction. By the looks of it, neither does Carter. Just keep pushing through, man.